lifestyle change consultant Johanse Ayodike joins me live on set to get into a very interesting talking point this morning. Are you carrying a burden? That's the question. And Johanse, let me say good morning to you. And may I probably start off? I want to start off by suggesting I think we all are. I think show me somebody in life who doesn't carry some kind of burden. I mean, if there's somebody who doesn't, well, my goodness, I'd love to meet them, Johanse.
Well, the thing is, a burden is different from a stressful situation, right?
How do you define burden?
Most, if not all of us, have something that may stress us out at a certain time. But a burden is something that you allow to linger, right? So let's just say something happened in your family, something happened in your workplace, you deal with it, right? It's stress. So it happens, you deal with it, it leaves. Let's say it may even take 2-3 days, but a burden is something that you hold on to, right? And sometimes you don't even know you're holding on to it.
What's the root cause of that holding on? Why you think, based on your studies and your experience in the field, we hold on to stuff?
Because sometimes we diminish or minimalize what a burden really is. And let me give an example. If you love your job, but you don't like the traffic, every day you're going to the job and you're in the traffic, the stress of the traffic, because it's not changing, it becomes a burden. So now, what your brain does, when I think about my job or think about my work, it's now connected to the traffic. So every day, even the work that you love, let's just say you really genuinely love your work, the joy of it starts to diminish because you're carrying the burden of the traffic.
Interesting. Is there a scenario, and I'm sure there is because you always hear of childhood trauma, something that would have happened years ago that you take into your adult life and you're almost like you're holding on to it? Sometimes some people hold on to it too, to just, to keep that flame of disdain towards somebody. When sometimes I guess the easy thing, well, it's supposed to be easy, but I guess in this case it's not that easy. You could let go, but there are people who sometimes hold on to just remind themselves of the hurt that this person would have inflicted,
No, it depends, because a burden is something stressful. I think the dictionary meaning is pressure that is applied based on someone or some scenario. Now that disdain you're saying, and let me change you to disdain meaning memory, that fuel. So this person do me something and I'm remembering it so I don't end up in a situation again. That doesn't necessarily have to be a burden, And that's why I'm saying, ask the question, is it really a burden? Because we have to question, I have this relationship, whether it is romantic, family, friendship. There are certain things about the relationship I don't like, but there are good times also. But every time this thing I don't like consistently occurs and it keeps reoccurring. So now what your brain does is connect those unpleasantness with this person or scenario. And if it is not dealt with, after a while, it becomes a burden. You might even want to see that person. You like or love this person, but your brain says, wait, now every time, after 2 minutes or 5 minutes we talk, we always end up in this kind of argument or end up with this kind of difficulty.
And based on what you explained, that's how you kind of know you're carrying a burden?
Yes, because the thing that you liked or loved before, enjoyed, after a while you realize, wait now, why not feeling to do this again, boy? Why? There's my child, and I love my child, but I don't enjoy this time with my child. I love my wife or my husband, but something I'm not enjoying it again. I love my job, but I'm not enjoying it again.
Will you say to those people who are busybodies, they love to just be active, that in itself could be a burden, having so many commitments, literally trying to do so much on any given day. Is that something healthy, or folks need to sometimes declutter?
Well, again, it depends on when you think about doing the thing or the things, what you feel. Because let's just say you have 10 tasks to do, but you enjoy doing all. And the quote-unquote stress is less than the reward of completing the task, then you're good. But if the stress is more than the reward of completing the task, that's where the difficulty. So you think about a school. So one child could be 9 feeling to go to school, next child could be yes, because even though I have to sit down in traffic, I enjoy the work, I enjoy my friends, I enjoy the teachers, versus something different. You think about this person, I used to enjoy going home to this person, and then wait, now work done, I had to go home. And so it's the feeling when you think about the task, the person or the scenario, you would know if it starts to become a burden.
Could carrying a burden pose a major negative impact on your mental health and well-being?
Listen, major. Because after a while, you lose your motivation to do things. Because when it starts in one area, it translates to other areas. Because now your brain get a connection. So if I'm not feeling to go to work, right, then I ain't feeling to get up. Then the night before, I ain't really feeling to go and sleep, if you understand. So it is like a cascading effect, a snowballing effect. And after a while, you might not even feel to do anything.
But as I said earlier, letting go, I guess, it should be something. I mean, it's easier said than done, Some people might say, well, I mean, that easy, I should just let go. But it takes a while, I guess. Time plays a factor in letting go, whether it be a hurt or a burden carried from a relationship, from a family scenario, from a work event. We all would carry a burden at some particular point in time. And I think there is a moment where we thank goodness for those who are able to go over the line and let go. How do we start that process as we wrap things up?
Time is a factor only if you're actively doing something, because you could just use time and just linger and it will stay there if you're not actively working on it. But one thing is facing the reality of it, facing the truth of it. This is something I don't like. And even though I can't change it immediately, let me put some steps in place. So if it's, let's say, a job scenario, I could start doing a course. The course might take 2 years, or a new degree might make two years, but at least I'm putting things in place. I'm in this relationship, I have these issues, let me start to confront it and deal with it so that it doesn't stay there.
So as we look to wrap things up, we will let Joanse have the final say on this Mental Health Thursday. It's all yours.
Nation, be aware when you're carrying a burden. If something you enjoy suddenly becomes stressful, release it. Don't make life complicated, because even though life is not easy, it's really not that hard. Thank you for listening.
Joanse, thank you so much. Great conversation. Up next, we want to transition to one of my great colleagues here at Guardian Media. A couple labels I could put to Ryan: Arsenal fan like myself, media professional, news anchor, and may I say this morning, author. That's right, Ryan Bishu joins me next to talk about an unending search. Let's get into that discussion up next.